What's happening, everybody? On today's show, we catch up with former Georgia Bulldogs quarterback DJ Shockley to get his thoughts on this year's Georgia team, see what he thinks about the defense as well as quarterback play. And with the World Series starting tonight, we will catch up with a couple of former SEC pitchers now throwing for the Atlanta Braves, former Razorback Drew Smyly and former Aggie AJ Minter. We'll talk some football with them, and we'll give you some headlines from around the conference. Locked On SEC starts now.
You are Locked On SEC, your daily podcast on the Southeastern Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what's up, everybody? Welcome into Locked On SEC. It's great to have you guys along. Today's show is brought to you by Rock Auto. Amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com and tell them Locked On sent you. I am Chris Gordy. Thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On SEC is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. Let's jump into it. Plenty to discuss. Let's go around the conference.
Boots out to the right. Takes the handoff. What a catch!
Around the conference.
And we start in Columbia, South Carolina, as Gamecocks starting quarterback Zeb Noland is going under the knife today. The program announced Noland will have a minor surgical procedure performed on his knee as he has suffered a tear of his meniscus. The good news is that he'll be slated to return back in time for the Gamecocks game versus Florida on November 6th. South Carolina's in an open week this week, currently at 4-4, 1-4 in the SEC. But with Luke Doty out for the season already, Noland had been declared the starter, and Brown his backup. The Gamecocks also have true freshman Colton Gothier on scholarship, so we'll see what angle they decide to go in the absence of Zeb Noland. The SEC East. Is it down this year? Kirby Smart was asked that question during his media availability yesterday, and Kirby responded, I don't know how to answer that. I do know that the SEC is a really tough conference to play in. When I sit back and watch games on Saturday, there were some really tough games in the SEC, whether it's the West or the East. It's a tough conference. He remarked that Florida, the Gators, have been involved in some close losses this year. They lost to Alabama close. All three of their losses this year have been decided by a touchdown or less. He said, I think the SEC East is a really good division side of the conference, but who am I to judge when we see each other more than most people do in terms of watching tape and crossover? Kentucky's having an outstanding year, so I wouldn't there's some good teams, better teams in the West or East just about every year, but I wouldn't be calling the SEC or the SEC East down this year just because Florida has stubbed their toe a little bit. Speaking of Florida, their defensive coordinator Todd Grantham was asked yesterday about his contract expiring at season's end. He said, I'm confident with where we are. He said, leading up to the LSU game, we were playing pretty well. You look at the SEC stats, we're second or third in many of the major stats out there. Of course, the 55-year-old Todd Grantham was thought to be in jeopardy last offseason, but he returned this year after Dan Mullen parted ways with several other assistants. But it is notably the final year of Todd Grantham's contract, something he was asked about as the Gators prepare for Georgia in the cocktail party this Saturday in Jacksonville. Over at Mississippi State, Mike Leach, talking with the media yesterday, said that linebacker Rodney Gross has left the program. No reason given. Gross is a redshirt freshman. He was a former three-star recruit out of the state of Alabama. He was once a Nebraska commit. Eventually committed to Joe Moorhead and the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Played 3 games last year before redshirting. This year he saw the field in several games, but has not recorded any stats. Over at Auburn, Bryan Harsin making some headlines yesterday. We told you about the news that Auburn officials announced that all university employees must be fully vaccinated to remain employed. Bryan Harsin tested positive for COVID-19 back in August, but at the time declined to disclose whether or not he has been vaccinated. During his press conference on Monday, he was asked about his vaccination status. Harsin said, the executive order, all those things, it doesn't change the fact that I'm not going to discuss any individual's decision or status on the vaccine or anyone else's, including my own. So the situation with Harsin likely only going to intensify leading up to that December 8th deadline for all Auburn employees. Probably saw last week Washington State parted ways with their head coach, Nick Rolovich, who was recently fired for not complying with the similar mandates. Rolovich has announced he intends on suing the school. We'll see where this thing goes with Bryan Harsin at Auburn. And over at Missouri, their linebacker Jamie Pettway confirmed that he has entered the transfer portal. It's the first year he's been part of the linebacker rotation. He's a redshirt sophomore from the state of Georgia. Played 85 snaps on defense in 5 games this year for Mizzou. Got most of his action the last 2 games, but that Mizzou defense is struggling, to say the least. One of the worst in the country, one of the worst in the SEC. So Missouri losing yet another piece when it comes to their defense. And there you have it. That is around the conference. When we return, we're going to catch up with DJ Shockley, former Georgia Bulldog quarterback. We'll get his thoughts on Georgia and just some thoughts on the SEC as a whole as we get into it here. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. We'll hear that conversation with DJ Shockley in just a second. But first, I want to remind you guys about our friends over at PrizePicks. PrizePicks is for all the college football fanatics out there. If you haven't tried them yet, it is daily fantasy made easy. I love it. I know you guys will too. PrizePicks is a leader in college sports daily fantasy. They offer any prop you can think of, from yardage to touchdowns, even interceptions thrown. PrizePicks has an award-winning app on both the App Store and Google Play. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It is that easy. PrizePicks is safe. They offer fast withdrawals. You can even do mixed sport entries. I don't want you to hesitate. Go check them out right now at prizepicks.com. And when you sign up, you can do so. Use our promo code LOCKEDON. That's LOCKEDON. Or go to the App Store. Download their app today. PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy made easy. Check them out today. PrizePicks. Need to also remind you about our friends over at Rock Auto. With the ever-increasing numbers of makes and models, it is impossible for your local auto parts chain store to stock all the parts that you need. You can save time and money when you use Rock Auto. They are a family business serving do-it-yourselfers for over 20 years. Their prices always reliably low for every customer. They got everything you can need, from brake parts, tail lamps, motor oil, even new carpets. Go explore their easy-to-use website today. You can find all the solution for your auto part needs. All you do is you type in your make, your model, your year, boom. Everything shows up for you. Just find exactly what you're looking for right there. Get it in just a couple days. Shows up right at your doorstep. Go to rockauto.com right now. See all the parts available for your car or truck. Make sure you're locked on in their How Did You Hear About Us box so that they know that we sent you. An amazing selection, reliably low prices, all the parts your car will ever need. Visit rockauto.com. Rolling along here, Locked On SEC, and got a chance to catch up here in Houston talking World Series, and one of our favorite former SEC quarterbacks, Georgia Bulldog DJ Shockley, is there. Of course, he does TV reporting now for one of the new stations in Atlanta, and we were able to catch up with DJ, talk a little Georgia football with him. Here's a little bit of our conversation with DJ Shockley.
Pleasure to be joined by the one and only DJ Shockley here in Houston, doing his TV thing, covering the World Series. What's it like, Mr. Media Man, doing your whole TV thing now?
It's fun, man. I mean, obviously you get to do more than just football. People know you as one thing, but to be able to broaden my horizon a little bit, and here I am, covering the World Series. Don't get much better than that. So I'm excited about the home teams here. So, I mean, it's cool.
We call that diversifying your portfolio, right?
For sure. No doubt. The more you can do, I learned that a long time ago. The more you can do, the better.
Thoughts on this Georgia team this year, man? I mean, the defense. Somebody told me this offseason. They said this might be Kirby's best defense since he's been there. And, it's hyperbole. We always hear that kind of stuff in the offseason. But, damn, dude, so far, it's looking that way.
Yeah, I mean, you just talk about how deep they are. It's unbelievable how fast, how they play with a bunch of great energy. I mean, they get after you. I mean, every week, it don't matter who is, they're playing against. It's one of those type of games where they're going to get after you regardless, and they don't want to give up a yard. They don't want anybody to score on them. They have just an unbelievable attitude on that side of the ball, and we all know the attitude that Kirby comes with, but You got to give a lot of credit to Dan Lanning. He has those guys playing at a high level, and it's a reason why he only giving up, 5-6 points a game.
What would you have done as a quarterback facing this bunch? Like, there's no weakness, really.
Yeah, that's the tough part about it is, many teams have tried to spread them out or they try to go right at them. You need athletes to go with these guys. To be honest, you can scheme them up all you want, but they beat guys one-on-one. They beat guys with just the matchups. You got to have guys that can match their physicality, that can match their speed. If not, they're just going to beat you. You think about how many guys can really block Jordan Davis. He's just one of those type of dudes that you're going to lose that matchup. Then you talk about some guys on the edge who are like the in-betweeners, linebackers, or they, defensive ends, but they're fast. They come off the edge. They can drop in coverage. So you got to be able to have good matchups on the other side to be able to counter what they do.
I'm waiting for some more offensive touches for Jordan Davis. Let's see if he can get in the Heisman conversation.
Goodness gracious, you get that guy the ball, that'd be just stupid. He already dominated on the defense side. Ain't nobody going to want to tackle that dude in open space. So, yeah, I see a big refrigerator Perry down there. Give it to him. Let him just bowl over people for a touchdown. I got a feeling, man, by the time the year's over, when he comes in there on one of those goal line sets, they're going to fake it to him and they're going to throw it to him for sure.
So much conversation this offseason about JT Daniels and look, everybody thought he's the guy. This is the guy. He's undefeated since he's come in here. But Stetson Bennett, kind of the guy nobody talked about. What do you make of the job he's done, the steady hand to keep the quarterback position afloat?
He's turned into the guy that I don't think anybody expected him to be. And that's a guy who can win games for you. I think everybody looked at Stetson as the guy who kind of managed the game, didn't hurt you too much, but wasn't really going to, win a ball game for you. But you've seen him throw the ball vertically. You've seen him make plays with his legs. This dude is turned into a guy that you can win a national championship with. And he's definitely grown as a quarterback. And I think you can see that by the way Kirby trusts him now in these big-time ball games to, hey, if we need a play, he can make it.
You think we fall into the trap of the 4-star, 5-star stuff a little bit too much and we neglect some guys who can just play football?
Oh, no doubt about it, because there's plenty of guys who come in out of 4- and 5-star guys who fall by the wayside. There are plenty of guys who come from a 5-star, come from a big program, and they were the guy, but then they come to a place like Georgia where everybody's the guy and they just can't handle it. So if a guy can play, if a guy has ability, you look at a guy like Ladd McConkey, wasn't a big, 4- or 5-star guy, but the guy is just balling now, making plays and doing it big. So I say if you can play, you can do it on this level. I don't care what star you are. Get the guy on the field.
How would you have liked to play with a Brock Bowers at tight end?
Yeah, he is a different breed too, man. You're talking about a freshman that can run and how big he is. He's one of them type of dudes, man, that's you love to watch, you love to be around because he going to give you everything you got, and he'll match up problem too. Don't matter who you put on him. He's fast enough to run by you, but also big enough to get over them defensive backs. So he is a true threat, and you see why and open up the offense for him.
I was saying you were part of a team that went all the way, got to the SEC title game, won it. Is it the grind each weekend and week out, just staying focused and literally taking it week by week and not looking ahead?
Oh, no doubt about it. That's what it is, because if you start to look forward, you lose sight of what's in front of you. And this is a team that has everything in front of them, but all it takes is one bad week. All it takes is a couple bad quarters, and then boom, you're out of it, or people saying it's not the same team you think about. So the continued focus that I think Kirby distills in these guys every week, I think is important. I think these guys understand if they play to that level every week, then the future will be bright.
The great DJ Shockley. Last thing, prediction on this World Series?
Come on, man. I'm riding with my Braves all day. That's a no-brainer, huh? I don't even know why you asked that. Come on. I was not going to say Houston. I'm born and bred from here. Born and bred from Atlanta. So yeah. I'm going with the Bravos all day.
There's a lot of SEC guys. Alex Bregman played LSU, Dansby, Vanderbilt. I kind of like it.
No doubt. We always represent. We keep them in something big, so I like it.
Thanks so much for the time, DJ.
All right, you got it, bro.
Thanks to DJ Shockley for joining us to talk some Georgia Bulldogs when we return. Speaking of the World Series, we're going to catch up with a couple guys who are playing in the World Series, two former SEC stars, and Drew Smyly and AJ Minter. That is next. Need to remind you guys about our friends at SweatBlock. For a few weeks now, we've been talking about them, and their wipes that stop sweat for 7 days. It seems people have been listening. We have friends of Locked On who have tried SweatBlock, and they absolutely love it. We've got a story about a high school teacher when he would pit out by fourth period, he'd hear the snickers and whispers from his students. And look, it's something you don't want to deal with. He started bringing a second shirt to change into just between classes. And then he heard about SweatBlock on our program. He tried it, and he's now hooked. No more snickering, no more second shirt. There you go. Locked On listeners loving SweatBlock. Stop excessive sweat for up to 7 days per use. It's doctor created, doctor recommended. They give you the dry shirt guarantee. If SweatBlock doesn't help keep you dry, you get your money back. Not just for armpits. You use it for your chest, back, feet, hands. Use it anywhere, and I mean anywhere, that sweats. If you or someone you care about is dealing with excessive sweat, you have to go check out SweatBlock. Get it today for 20% off at sweatblock.com. Use our promo code LOCKEDON. You can also find it at Amazon and CVS. Sweatblock.com, 20% off with our promo code LOCKEDON. Going along here, Locked On SEC, and getting to cover the World Series in Houston and heading to Atlanta later this week, and getting to cover a lot of different guys, a lot of different SEC stars who played SEC baseball in their collegiate career, and now they've gone on to bigger and better things with the pros. But figured we'd let you hear we were able to catch up with a couple of them. First up, Drew Smyly, the former Arkansas Razorback, who was a stud in college. We're able to catch up with him and talk a little bit about the World Series and also talk some SEC football with him. Here was our conversation with Drew Smyly.
Pleasure now to be joined by Drew Smyly. What's this like, man? You've had a little taste of the postseason before. What's it like to be back here?
Feels pretty good, man. It's been a long time, so I'm thankful to be back on such a good team. We battled through so much all season. It's just a pretty cool experience to be this far and how we're clicking on all cylinders, it seems like, and we're excited for it.
Did it feel like some point mid-season that this wasn't possible? I mean, everybody knows the story and where you guys were and how you got so hot, but just take us through what was that second half and down the stretch like?
No, I mean, I think we all knew it was possible. We had such a good team from the get-go, high expectations from the very beginning. But we were just kind of treading water, lagging a little bit, never playing to our capability, and then we just caught steam right around the trade deadline. Went on a really good winning streak, and then from there, it seemed like this is what we should have been doing all season. It just started clicking, and we've been playing great baseball.
Talk about your role this year, because it's been. I was looking through your stats, and it's like, somebody comes in, they pitch an inning or two to start, then here comes you for a couple innings. What's this year been like for you?
I've been excited with it. I think it's been a few ups and downs, but I've been healthy all year. I feel like I've given the team a chance to win all year. Whether I'm starting or coming out of the pen and pitching in a bulk inning relief, it doesn't really matter to me. I just want to be able to play and help contribute to the team. So either way, I don't know. I've always been a pitcher like that. Even when I was in my beginning days when I was with the Tigers, I'd come in the bullpen and play all the time. And I kind of look forward to that. There's a lot more of adrenaline when you're coming in later in the game and have a chance to make an impact.
Let's talk a little bit about your early days. We have a lot of SEC fans in our audience. You have any outstanding memories from your college days?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, go Razorbacks. We had a great team and obviously a ton of talent in the SEC. A lot of good players come out of the SEC. So I think it helped prepare me for the next stage.
You just missed Ryan Stanek, who's on the other side in the bullpen for the Astros. But, man, you and him both had outstanding careers for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, I mean, they just kind of breed good baseball players. It seems like every year they're having some new guys come out of there. It's a great program. So I didn't play with Ryan, but we know each other a little bit from baseball. But looking forward to going against them.
How much have you been? I know you've been busy, but how much you've been able to keep up with the football program? Coach Sam Pittman doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, he is. It's been a long time coming for the Razorbacks. We were in the hole there for quite a while. So it's great to see that they're becoming relevant again and winning some big football games.
Got a chance here. We'll run off some wins and get to a really nice bowl game. It'd be a great leap this year, right?
Yeah, I think the Razorback country is pretty excited where they're at right now. Pittman's done a great job, and I think he's just going to continue to grow it.
Take me through. I'm looking forward to going to Atlanta this weekend and seeing the home crowd. What's that home crowd been like at the newer ballpark? But man, it looks like such an awesome atmosphere on TV.
Yeah, the crowds have been great all season. I mean, been in the top of the major leagues in attendance all season. Really, we've had great sellouts from start to finish. The stadiums are beautiful. It's brand new. It's top notch. So Braves fans have really been bringing it all year.
Last thing for you, the confidence level of a team. It's so important. We talk about teams hot at the right time, but watching you guys out here, you guys look like such a confident bunch. I mean, does it feel that way in the clubhouse?
Yeah, I mean, there's just no egos in our clubhouse. We all get along really well. Everyone kind of vibes together real smooth. We got a lot of experienced players, a lot of talented players. You know, we got basically a brand new outfield at trade deadline. They all meshed perfectly with the team. So it's been good energy, really good vibes in the clubhouse for sure.
It's kind of nice here in Houston. You get to pitch indoors. And somebody was telling me, oh, man, it's nice to be in the South. But I'm looking at the forecast this weekend. It's going to be cold as hell in Atlanta this weekend. So It's two teams from the South, but it's going to be kind of cold this weekend.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be too bad. It's not like up north or something where it's just freezing cold. But, yeah, it's starting to get in that fall weather in Atlanta. But it's nice. Everybody will be pretty excited.
What do you prefer? Are you okay with the cold?
I mean, I don't like pitching in freezing weather, but I don't mind it, 50s, 60s. That's okay.
In Fayetteville, it gets pretty cold sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I played my first postseason was in Detroit, and it was pretty freezing in October that year. So I'm used to it, but I'll take a little humidity when I can.
Drew Smyly, Atlanta Braves pitcher. Thanks so much for the time, man.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Special thanks to Drew Smyly for joining us there as he prepares to pitch for the Atlanta Braves. Another guy pitching for the Atlanta Braves in the postseason will go from an Arkansas Razorback to an Aggie AJ Minter. We caught up with him.
Talking with Atlanta Braves pitcher AJ Minter. What's this been like, man, so far this season? Is it crazy that you guys are here? I mean, part of the back of your mind, you had to think this is possible, but is it still kind of surreal?
It really is. I mean, if you would ask me this, back in June, I'll be honest with you, it would be very, very hard to see us being here. Just the roller coaster we've had, so much adversity, guys being injured, just struggling, myself included. I mean, it's just been a roller coaster of a year, and that's what I feel like. This is what makes it so special, especially for this team.
It is crazy. I mean, the mantra in sports is always next man up, but there is a certain point where we're losing some really good guys here. I mean, but to their credit, it has been next man up, and all these guys have performed so well.
What Alex did, going out there at the trade deadline and basically getting a whole new outfield. It's truly unbelievable that what we were able to accomplish right there in the second half in the last month or two of the season, but it's just what makes it so good. It's just the chemistry of the guys in the clubhouse. I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what I feel like separates us from other teams. It's just our chemistry, and that's what you got to have as a postseason team.
You're a Texas native. How cool is it to be playing in the World Series in the state of Texas?
Yeah, that's where it all started. I remember this was actually my last college game I pitched here. I blew out my UCL and right here at Minute Maid. And so it's truly special to be back here. I'm just excited to play in front of friends and family, and they're going to beat the game. And that's what it's all about, getting to share it with your loved ones. And they're the ones, they're a big reason why I'm here today.
The injury, big part of your college career, but you had some great moments in college at Texas A&M. Do you have a favorite memory from your time there?
Getting to play for USA was obviously a dream come true in college, but just with Texas A&M, what it stands for, that university, playing in front of those fans there. I mean, they're the best in the country. I'm so proud to be, Texas A&M Aggie, and it's right down the road from here, so it's pretty special. And a lot of good memories there.
All right, let's talk a little football. What do you make of the job Jimbo's doing? It was a little shaky there for a little bit, but his last couple of weeks on a roll.
Definitely. Jimbo was a great hire, great coach. I know he's going to bring a national championship back to Texas A&M. But it's a good team. I mean, they're going in the right direction. Woody came in the first year and did an unbelievable job. And so there's obviously a lot of high expectations this year, but kind of same thing with us. I mean, with King going down, being injured, the starting quarterback, and they've had that next man up too, and now it's finally clicking for everyone. And I'm hoping that we can maybe shock a few people again after beating Bama. We might squeeze into the postseason or playoffs somehow, so it should be special.
I don't remember if you guys were playing that night, but the win over Alabama, where were you? How did you see it, and reaction?
I didn't get to see the ending. I got to see most of the first half. But I mean, it's special. I mean, all my friends were at the game. They got to rush the field after the game and get to see everyone's videos. I mean, that's that's what you dream about in college football right there.
Yeah, it is crazy the job that he's doing, and some other big jobs open. You're pretty confident Jimbo's going to stay put?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I know so. I don't, like what he's done for the university. He wants to stay there. He loves Texas, but if he does go somewhere else, and hey, I mean, he deserves it too. So he wants to win a national championship. I know that's his expectation, and he's going to do everything he can to do that.
I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but roll with me here. Thoughts when you heard Oklahoma and Texas? They want to little brothers. They want to follow you over to the SEC, play some big boy football. What'd you think?
Bring it on. Good luck. But SEC is a different animal, but they're two great universities. I'm excited just to have that rivalry back with A&M and Texas, and it's exciting for football, and that's what it's all about. But like I said, you better strap on and get ready because it's a different animal.
Last thing, what are you most excited about being back here in the state? Obviously, you say you get to see friends, family, and all that, but food, did you miss the food?
Give me some Whataburger. I need some of that soon. But yeah, it's special to be back here. Just getting to see family, friends, and the World Series. I mean, it still hasn't hit me yet. I'm sure it will tomorrow, but I'm excited for them to see this and experience it with me, and hopefully we can end up champions.
AJ, great stuff, man. Thanks so much for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
Great stuff there with AJ Minter and Drew Smyly, two pitchers for the Atlanta Braves, getting ready for the World Series. Appreciate them for taking some time. Appreciate DJ Shockley for joining us as well. And thank you guys for making Locked On SEC your first listen every day. Now go make your second listen. Check out some of our other great podcasts along the Locked On SEC or Locked On Podcast Network, rather. Locked On Gators, Locked On LSU, Locked On Vols. Just about any SEC school you're looking for, we got it for you. Just search for it, find it wherever you find your podcast. I'm Chris Gordy. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow right here on Locked On SEC. Have a great day, everybody.